welcome to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and today is episode 17. And the title of this episode is As More Puzzle Pieces Are Added, the Economic Collapse Picture is Becoming Clearer. Now, I just have a couple announcements before I begin. The People forum, where we're going to collect news from real people and where people can view it and question it, and people can ask questions about the economic collapse, is complete. If you go onto the x22report.com site, you click on the tab up top that says The People. It brings you right to it, and you can sign up with your email and a password. And again, these are all kept confidential. You can have a code name. You don't have to, you can upload a profile picture, whatever you want to do, and we can all talk. It's a great way for the whole entire world to come together and talk in one place, especially those who are living in different countries or here in the United States. If you live in different cities, you can tell us what's going on there, and this way we don't have to completely rely on the mainstream media, and we can find out what's really going on compared to what they're telling us. So again, it's ready to be used, and just go to the tab up top that says The People, click on it, it'll bring you right over to it, and we all can start talking and getting together. And if you have a question, you can just go in. There's instructions right up top. Just read them, and you can create a new topic. And if you have a question about something, or you want to just, post a picture of what's happening, you can do that right on this. So it's very easy to use, and you can use that. Today, what we're going to do is I'm just going to talk a little bit about Cyprus. That's like the main headline right now. So far, they haven't reached a deal yet, and the banks are still closed. People lining up for the ATM machines. Looks like they're stacking the ATM machines with cash, and they were running out of cash today. And I was watching it live on a feed, and very interesting. It seems like the people are calm. They're not that, frazzled. Everyone's like, okay, it looks like everything's all right. Let's go get our cash, and they're standing on the long lines. And it's just amazing to me how people just go along with everything and don't, they just, okay, this is the way it is. But they're giving Cyprus until Monday to come up with something, and if nothing happens and they can't work out a deal or come up with something, today they were in discussions, and a lot of discussion, but no deals. Again, who's going to pay for all this? Where are they getting the money for this? This is not something that just popped up today. This has been going on, like I said in the other episode, it's been going on for a while. And it's not just this country. It's all the countries. All the countries are having the same problem. Even here in the United States, here it's terrible. But it's all smoke and mirrors, and you can't tell what's going on. So in today's episode, we're going to go and start taking everything that we talked about and putting all the pieces together and see what picture we end up with. And, we're going to, every once in a while I'm going to do this, because as more pieces come in, it adds to what we're seeing, and it confirms everything that we believe. And what's funny today is the stock market was wavering today. It's what is it, like down 90 points or so? And this, as you can see, is the market is reacting to what's going on in Cyprus, but as the high-frequency trading, the plunge protection team, they're trying to keep it so it really doesn't fall that much. And if you notice, this is what they do all the time. And also, as you can see, it's amazing how gold creeps up. It creeps up as problems in the economies of other countries start to appear, and maybe this will be all ironed out, or maybe it won't, but then you'll see it push back down. But it's funny how it creeps up when these problems happen. So let's begin here. So we're going to start off with wars, because every time there's an economic collapse, if you look back, we'll just start in the Great Depression. Great Depression, we had World War II, and this always seems to be the case, that they try to have wars occur during an economic collapse to cover up what's going on. And today we see, like, today, they're saying that Syria is using chemical weapons. I posted these things on x22report.com, and it seems like they're trying to drag us in and drag everyone going, oh my God, they're using chemical weapons. This can't be happening. I mean, but look at the countries that are in conflict with each other. I mean, we have Syria, we have Iran, we have Israel with Iran and Syria, we have the U.S. with Iran and Syria, we have China and Japan, we have North Korea with their threats and their nuclear weapons and their missiles. They're going to attack everywhere. We have South Korea saying that they want nuclear weapons to defend themselves against the North Koreans. And then we have the U.S. telling North Korea, to back down. And then you have the United States in Mali, Nigeria, in Libya, in Iraq, in Afghanistan. I mean, this whole thing is building and building and building. And, today President Obama came out saying that, if Syria is using chemical weapons, they just cross the red line and that's it. And, it looks like, we're heading towards something here. But here we have wars going on. And if we move down to the financial area, we have the stock market being pumped up, and it's the highest it's ever been. Doesn't matter what the real news is out in the world. Doesn't matter if Europe is collapsing, Cyprus, is having problems, which is on the verge of collapse. Doesn't matter if Greece has 300 bailouts, or Spain or Portugal. Makes no difference. Here we have news of Walmart saying retail sales aren't good. We have news of retail stores closing, hundreds and hundreds. You add them all up, it's thousands. Retail sales are down. We have the Fed printing like there's no tomorrow, buying up bonds at $45 billion a month, buying up toxic real estate at $40 billion a month, non-stop, and just continually printing money. Interest rates at close to 0%. I mean, this is what we're seeing today, and the LIBOR scandal. We have JP Morgan with its trade problems. We had MF Global, who went down, and we're seeing this all around us. And now in the mainstream media, there's in MarketWatch, I read that they're acknowledging the bond bubble. And there was an article, it was like tick, 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 the bond bubble's ready to burst. And we have the stock market bubble and the huge derivative bubble that is going to bring down everything. So, I mean, we're looking at all this. We have wars, we have the financial area, and now we have, moving on to the government. Just look at everything the government has done with the Patriot Act, the NDAA, DHS building their own private police force or army, however you want to look at it, purchasing billions of bullets, purchasing 2,700 armored vehicles. Now the military is going to be the controlling factor of the drones. We're looking at constitutional attacks by constitutional lawyers saying, let's throw out the Constitution. We don't need it anymore. We're looking at Second Amendment attack on guns to disarm us any way they can. And now this whole gun thing with disarming us has been going on for a while. Same thing with all these things. It just didn't happen overnight. These are all things that every single time it's one after another, and we're at this tipping point now. We have the UN Arms Treaty telling us here in the U.S. that we don't need guns and how we're going to use guns, and the American Bar Association saying that they agree with the UN Arms Treaty, that it doesn't impact on the Second Amendment, is just amazing to me. I mean, even the post office is feeling it. They're going to stop Saturday deliveries come, August? I mean, when have you heard of this? I mean, we have no debt ceiling whatsoever, so they can print and print and print. Our debt is at approaching $17 trillion. They can't balance a budget. There is no budget, and I see they're coming out with, we have to balance the budget in 10 years. I'm like, 10 years? Why even do it then? 10 years? I mean, it's ridiculous. Today they just passed a stopgap bill so it could stop the sequester cuts from happening. I mean, just use common sense. Listen to all of this and say, what is going on here? I mean, now the government, President Obama is calling for UPS and FedEx to be responsible for packages and what's in packages, why they deliver. I mean, really? I mean, it doesn't even make sense. The FEMA camps that have been set up. I mean, all of these things. So right now we have the wars we just talked about. We had all the things in the financial arena, all the things the government has done. And we look at Europe and we see the EU having major problems. We see Cyprus teetering on collapse. But, but everything is fine, right? Everything, we're doing wonderfully well. You can just see how all the cracks and all the lies and everything they're doing are starting to come out. And it's very hard to keep up with everything that they're doing. And it's all starting to fall apart. I mean, this is why everyone needs to really look at this and say, you know what? We need to start to prepare, because the outcome of all this, from all the research that we've done in the Great Depression and what it's like to go through a collapse, and this is going to be even worse than the Great Depression. This is going to be so bad and take people by surprise that it's really going to be catastrophic. And people are going to die. People are not going to be able to understand what's going on, and they're going to go pretty much crazy. And people are going to fall into huge depressions. There's going to be anger. There's going to be violence. There's going to be anarchy in the streets. And again, it's not going to be all over. It's going to be in pockets, but it will spread as more and more people become aware of what's going on, and it will hit people at different times. And people are going to have hope that it will get better. This can't be happening. It's the denial process that everyone goes through. But when this thing comes down from everything that we see and everything that the government and the central bankers are preparing for, I mean, look at the scenarios. The economic collapse happens, the dollar plummets to zero. We have a catastrophic event here in the United States and around the world, in Europe and everywhere else. Before, or another scenario, before it happens, World War III begins and people are sent off to war and there is mass destruction, there is mass deaths. I mean, there is no way out of this. It's coming, it's almost here, and all the pieces are all coming together, as we can see. They are even today on the news, they're talking about these crazy white men who have guns that could be our biggest threat in America. And it was funny when you watch the video, I had it on my site, you watch the video and in the background they're showing the Oklahoma bombing, they're showing the KKK, and they're trying to use these pictures for you to believe that these are the crazy people, the crazy white man with guns, or just the crazy people with guns. I mean, this is what they're trying to make you believe. But these crazy people with the guns, these aren't the crazy people. But they're trying to make you believe this. And you can see from everything that we're seeing and everything that we're hearing that the pieces are all coming together, they're all fitting together, and the outcome is not going to be good. It's not going to be something where we can escape it, where we can hope our way out of it. It is coming, and it's only a matter of time. And Cyprus seems to be this pivotal point on what's going to happen. Because you have to remember, the central bankers, the governments, yes, they're preparing. But they're hoping to kick the can down the street so they have more time. But there's one factor that they can never count on, is people and panic. And when this happens, you can't really control it. Because if there is some type of bank run and there's no deal and they collapse and there is a bank run, the panic among other countries who are feeling this, like Greece, Spain, it will start a chain reaction. So Cyprus is a pivotal point in what's going to happen. Now, I mean, again, they can always figure out a way and just print money and give it to them and say, okay, here's another bailout, nobody has to do anything, everything's fine, go ahead. There might be small little bank runs, but again, we don't know how the people are going to react, what they're going to do. And then, if they do nothing, everyone will just go back to sleep and the can will be kicked down the street. If there's some type of bank run, we have to look at the other countries to see how they're going to react. So we have to keep an eye on this, and we have to see what's going to happen. I like to hear from everyone, and I like to hear from people in other countries, and I hope that you go over to the people and you use what I created so we can start having discussions and understanding what's going on as we go through this. And it really is a great communication system where everyone from all over can just go to one point and see what's going on. It costs nothing. It's just your username and password, and you can go right in there. You can even read things without even signing up. So I hope everyone goes over and uses it. Again, everyone, we have to be prepared. We have to be ready. And Don't wait. Don't wait for it to happen. Make sure you have food. Make sure you have water. Make sure you have gold and silver, cash on hand. Make sure you have a way to light your house. Make sure you have medical supplies, bathroom supplies. I mean, I put up a video on the site from the main prepper, Prepping 101. Take a look at that. Take a look at what I did in my earlier episodes, Prepping for Dummies. Let's just all stay together. Let's all, come out of this together. And thanks for listening today. Everyone, be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.